I am sitting in my new apartment right now looking out the window at the city lights. It is Christmas Eve, and I am alone. But here is the strange part. I am not sad. Last year at this time I believed family was everything. I believed blood was thicker than water, that forgiveness was always the answer. Then my sister slept with my fiancé. And when I found out, my family did not stand by me. Instead, they tried to force me to forgive her. So I did something they never thought I would have the courage to do. I walked away from all of them. Before I tell you how I walked away from everyone I grew up with, I would love to know where you are watching this from. Drop your location in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe if you have ever felt pressured to forgive someone who did not deserve it. Now let me take you back to where this nightmare began. I grew up in a pretty normal middle-class family in the suburbs of Portland, Oregon. My parents, Paul and Linda, had been married for 35 years. They were the kind of couple everyone admired at neighborhood barbecues. Steady, reliable. My sister Stephanie was 3 years younger than me. From the time we were kids, she was the one who got away with everything. I was the responsible one. The one who got good grades, stayed out of trouble, came home on time. Stephanie could roll in at midnight and my parents would just laugh it off. That is just how Stephanie is, they would say. And I accepted it. That was my role. The dependable older brother. By the time I turned 29, I had built what I thought was a pretty solid life. I worked as a software engineer at a tech startup in Portland. The pay was good, the work was interesting, and I was engaged to Amanda. We had been together for 4 years, engaged for 8 months. Amanda was beautiful, smart, worked as a marketing manager at a consulting firm. My parents loved her. They treated her like the daughter they always wanted. And Stephanie and Amanda were insanely close. They went shopping together, had coffee dates, texted each other constantly. I thought it was great. I thought I was lucky to have a family that got along so well with my future wife. Amanda and I had just put a deposit down on a new condo. The wedding was 4 months away. Every weekend we would drive to my parents' house for dinner. My mom would make pot roast. My dad would talk about his golf game. Stephanie had just broken up with her boyfriend, and Amanda was always there to comfort her. They would disappear into Stephanie's old bedroom and talk for hours. I remember thinking how lucky I was. I had a great job, a woman I loved, and a family that actually liked spending time together. Life felt perfect. Then things started to feel off. Small things at first. Amanda would be on her phone more than usual, laughing at something, then quickly putting it down when I walked into the room. When I asked who she was texting, she would say it was Stephanie. They were planning something for the bridal shower, she said. I believed her. Why would I not? Stephanie started calling Amanda more often. But whenever I was around, the calls would suddenly end. Amanda started working late more frequently. She would say she had client dinners or project deadlines. I wanted to believe her. But a tiny voice in the back of my head kept whispering that something was wrong. One night I came home early and found Amanda on the couch, her phone screen dark. The second she heard my keys in the door, she flinched. When I asked what she was doing, she said she was looking at gift ideas for my mom's birthday. I nodded. I tried to convince myself I was being paranoid, but the feeling would not go away. Then came the night that destroyed everything. It was a Friday. Amanda told me she had an important dinner with a client. She needed to make a good impression. I said, okay. I stayed home, ordered takeout, tried to watch a game, but I felt restless. Around 8, I called up my buddy from college and told him I would meet him for a beer downtown. I got in my car and started driving. That is when I saw it. I was driving past the Marriott Hotel downtown, not really paying attention, when something caught my eye in the parking garage. A blue Honda Civic. That was Stephanie's car. I felt my heart start to race. Maybe she was meeting someone. A new guy. That would be good for her. But then I saw the white Toyota Camry parked right next to it. That was Amanda's car. My hands went numb on the steering wheel. I pulled into the garage and parked a few rows back. I sat there for maybe 30 minutes staring at those two cars trying to come up with any explanation that made sense. I texted Amanda. "How is dinner going?" She replied 10 minutes later. "Great. Client loves our pitch. We'll be home late." I felt like I was going to throw up. I got out of my car and walked into the hotel lobby. I found a seat in a corner where I could see the elevators. I waited. Around 10 at night, the elevator doors opened. Amanda and Stephanie stepped out. Amanda's hair was messy. Her makeup was smudged. Stephanie had her arm around Amanda's shoulder. They were laughing about something. And then they kissed. It was not a long kiss, but it was not the kind of kiss you give a friend. It was soft, intimate, real. I felt like someone had just punched a hole through my chest. Everything I thought I knew shattered in that single moment. My fiancée was not cheating on me with some random guy. She was cheating on me with Stephanie, my little sister, the person I had protected and defended my entire life. I stood up. My legs felt like they were made of concrete. I walked toward them. When they saw me, both of their faces went white. Amanda opened her mouth. "Drew, this is not what it looks like." Stephanie just stared at the floor. I looked at her. "How long?" Amanda tried to grab my hand. "Drew, please let me explain." I pulled my hand back. I looked at Stephanie again. "How long, Steph?" She whispered. 3 months. 3 months. The entire time we were planning the wedding. The entire time they were pretending to be excited for me. I turned around and walked out. Amanda ran after me, calling my name. I kept walking. She grabbed my arm. "Drew, please?" I looked at her. "Do not touch me." I got in my car and drove back to my old apartment, the one I had not fully moved out of yet. I sat on the floor and stared at the wall until the sun came up. The next morning I drove to my parents' house. I needed them to know. I needed someone to be on my side. My dad was in the front yard, trimming the hedges. My mom was in the kitchen baking cookies. The house smelled like cinnamon. I sat down at the kitchen table. I told them everything. My voice was shaking, but I got through it. My mom dropped the bowl she was holding. She hugged me. "Oh, Drew, honey, I am so sorry." My dad just stood there silent. For a moment, I thought they understood. Then Stephanie called. My mom answered. I could hear Stephanie crying on the other end. My mom's face softened. She listened for a long time. When she hung up, she looked at me. "Drew, Stephanie is really struggling right now. She said she did not mean for this to happen. She is confused about her sexuality." My dad cleared his throat. "Drew, I know this is hard, but Stephanie is your sister." I felt cold all over. That was it. That was their response. Stephanie made a mistake. Stephanie is confused? What about me? What about what she did to me? Over the next few days, I cut off all contact with Amanda and Stephanie. I blocked their numbers. I blocked them on every social media platform. But my family would not let it go. My mom called me every single day. "Drew, Stephanie is devastated. She made a mistake. She is young." My dad left voicemails. "Son, I understand you are hurt, but family is family. We have to stick together." Then the extended family started calling. My Aunt Karen, my mom's younger sister, called me at work. "Drew, your mother is crying every night. Stephanie is her daughter too. You need to think about how this is affecting everyone." My Uncle Mike called next. "Drew, you are the older brother. You need to be the mature one here. This is tearing the family apart." I could not believe what I was hearing. I was the one who got betrayed. But somehow I was the bad guy. My parents invited me over for dinner to talk things through. When I showed up, Stephanie was there. It was an ambush, a family meeting where everyone had already decided I was the problem. Stephanie sat on the couch crying. "Drew, I am so sorry. I never meant to hurt you. I was confused. I love you." My mom put her hand on my shoulder. Drew, look at your sister. She is suffering too. My dad nodded. We are a family. We forgive each other. That is what we do. I looked around the room. Did anyone ask me what I want? My mom frowned. Of course we care about your feelings, honey. I shook my head. No, you do not. You just want me to pretend this never happened so everyone can be comfortable again. My dad's voice got stern. That is not fair, Drew. I stood up. You are right. It is not fair. None of this is fair. I walked out. For the next few weeks, the pressure only increased. My mom showed up at my apartment with homemade lasagna, begging me to come home for Thanksgiving. My dad sent me long emails about forgiveness, about family values, about how holding on to anger would only hurt me. Stephanie mailed a handwritten letter to my office. Drew, I miss my big brother. Please give me another chance. Even Amanda reached out. Drew, Stephanie, and I broke up. It was a mistake. Can we please talk? I did not respond to any of them. I threw myself into work. I took on extra projects. I stayed at the office until midnight. My co-workers noticed but did not ask questions. I told my close friends that the engagement was off, but I did not give details. I felt like I was drifting in the middle of the ocean with no land in sight. Thanksgiving came. My mom called 3 times that morning. Drew, please come home. It is Thanksgiving. We need you here. I turned off my phone. I ordered Chinese food and watched football alone. That night, my mom left a voicemail. Her voice was shaking. Drew, you are breaking my heart. I deleted it. In early December, my dad called. His voice sounded tired. Drew, I know this year has been hard on all of us, but it is Christmas. Your mother really needs you to come home, just for one day. I hesitated. Stephanie will not be there, he added. She is spending Christmas with friends in Seattle. It will just be the 3 of us. I thought about it for a long time. I missed them. I missed the smell of my mom's sugar cookies. I missed watching old movies with my dad. Maybe I needed closure. Maybe I needed to see them one more time. Okay, I said. I will come. I spent the next 2 weeks trying not to think about it. I bought gifts for my parents. On Christmas Eve, I got in my car and drove to their house. It was snowing lightly. The house looked exactly the same. White lights wrapped around the porch, a wreath on the door, warm light glowing from the windows. I parked in the driveway and took a deep breath. I grabbed the gifts from the back seat and walked up to the front door. I opened the door and immediately heard voices. Too many voices. I walked into the living room and froze. It was not just my parents. The entire family was there. Aunt Karen, Uncle Mike, my cousins Emily and Brian. And sitting on the couch crying was Stephanie. I understood immediately. This was a setup. They had lied to me to get me here. They were staging an intervention. My mom stood up. Drew, we are all here because we love you. Aunt Karen walked over. Drew, honey, Christmas is about forgiveness. Uncle Mike crossed his arms. Drew, you have been angry long enough. It is time to let this go. Stephanie stood up and walked toward me. Tears were streaming down her face. Drew, I miss my brother. Please, please forgive me. I looked around the room. Every single person was staring at me with expectation. Not one person asked how I was doing. Not one person acknowledged that I had been the one who was betrayed. They just wanted me to fix it. They wanted me to say the magic words so they could all feel better. I stood there completely still. My voice came out calm, dangerously calm. So this was the plan. Lie to me, ambush me, pressure me into forgiving her. My mom stepped forward. Drew, we just want our family back together? I looked at her. Your family. What about what she did to me? My dad's voice was sharp. Drew, do not raise your voice at your mother. I laughed. It was a bitter sound. That is the problem, Dad. I am the one who got betrayed. But somehow I am the bad guy for not forgiving her. Stephanie reached for my hand. Drew, I know I hurt you, but I am still your sister. I pulled my hand back and looked her in the eye. You stopped being my sister the moment you slept with my fiancé. The room went silent. Aunt Karen gasped. Drew, that is cruel. I turned to her. Cruel. You want to know what is cruel? Sleeping with your brother's fiancé for 3 months while he is planning his wedding. That is cruel. Uncle Mike shook his head. Drew, everyone makes mistakes. I looked at him. And I have to forgive her because she is family? Because it is Christmas? Is that how this works? I turned back to my parents. Let me make this very clear. I will never forgive Stephanie. Not because I want revenge, but because what she did is unforgivable. My mom started crying. Drew, please do not say that. I looked at her and for the first time I felt nothing. Mom, I love you, but you are asking me to pretend my pain does not matter so you can have your perfect family back. My dad stood up. Drew, if you walk out that door, you are choosing to destroy this family. I shook my head. No, Dad. Stephanie destroyed it. I am just refusing to pretend it is still whole. I looked around the room one last time. The Christmas tree, the lights, the faces of people I had known my entire life. All of it felt like it belonged to someone else. Someone I used to be. I turned and walked toward the door. My mom ran after me. Drew, please, I stopped, but did not turn around. I love you, Mom, but I cannot do this anymore. I walked out into the snow, got in my car, and drove away. I looked in the rearview mirror and saw my mom standing in the doorway. I did not look back again. On the drive home, I cried, but I also felt something I had not felt in months. Relief. I had just freed myself. When I got back to my apartment, I sat down and blocked every single one of them. My parents, Stephanie, my aunt and uncle, my cousins, everyone. I deleted Facebook, Instagram, everything. I was done. The first few weeks after Christmas were brutal. My apartment felt too quiet. I had no messages, no missed calls, because I had blocked everyone. I threw myself into work even harder. I was at the office by 7 in the morning and did not leave until 9 or 10 at night. My boss noticed. Drew, you have been crushing it lately. We want to promote you to senior engineer. The raise was significant. I said yes. Work became my refuge. I took on a huge project that required me to lead a small team. It kept my mind busy. It gave me something to focus on other than the empty space where my family used to be. One of the guys on my team was a developer named Marcus. He was easygoing funny, always inviting people to grab drinks after work. At first, I turned him down every time. But one Friday, he would not take no for an answer. Come on, man. Just one beer. I gave in. We went to a brewery downtown. Marcus introduced me to his friends. Jason, a designer with a dry sense of humor. Alicia, a product manager who was sharp and kind. Troy, a sales guy who could make anyone laugh. They did not ask about my personal life. They did not pry. We just talked about work, about sports, about random things. It felt easy. For the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe. Marcus kept inviting me out. Game nights at his place, hiking trips on the weekends, concerts downtown. Slowly, I started saying yes more often. I realized I had spent so much time trying to make everyone else happy that I had forgotten what I actually enjoyed. I started playing guitar again. I had not touched it since college. I joined a gym and started lifting weights. I read books I had been meaning to read for years. I took a solo road trip to Seattle, then another one to San Francisco. I went backpacking in the Cascade Mountains. I started discovering who I was without my family, without Amanda, without the weight of their expectations. I moved to a new apartment. This one was bigger, with floor-to-ceiling windows that looked out over the city. I decorated it exactly how I wanted. A gaming setup in the corner, abstract art on the walls, plants everywhere. No one to ask permission from, no one to compromise with. For the first time in my life, I was living entirely for myself. 6 months after Christmas, I got an email from an address I did not recognize. It was my mom. She had created a new email account to reach me. The message was long. She wrote about how my dad had been sick. Nothing serious, just a bad cold, but she wanted me to know. She said Stephanie had moved to California and was doing well. She asked if I might consider coming home to visit, just for a day, just to talk. I read the email 3 times. Part of me missed them. Part of me wanted to believe that things could be different, but I knew better. If I went back, they would pressure me again. They would ask me to forgive Stephanie. They would expect me to fall back into the role of the peacemaker. I did not reply. Instead, I wrote a long letter that I never sent. I wrote about everything I felt, everything I wished I could say. When I finished, I burned it in the sink. That was my closure. A year after I walked out on Christmas, my life looked completely different. I had been promoted again. I was making more than double what I used to. I bought a small house in a quiet neighborhood in Portland, far enough from my parents that I would never run into them by accident. I had a solid group of friends who felt more like family than my real family ever had. Marcus, Jason, Alicia, and Troy. We had dinners together. We traveled together. They showed up when I needed them. And then there was Alicia. We had been working together for months, and somewhere along the way something shifted. We started grabbing coffee before meetings, staying late to talk after everyone else went home. One night after a particularly stressful project launch, she asked if I wanted to get dinner. Not with the group, just us. I said yes. We did not rush into anything. We took our time. She knew about my past. I told her everything. She did not judge me. She did not tell me I should forgive them. She just listened. One night she looked at me and said, "Your past does not define you. What you do now does." That was when I knew she was different. Now, a year later, I am sitting on the back porch of my house, watching the sun set over Portland. Alicia is inside making dinner. I can hear Marcus and the others laughing in the living room. We are having a barbecue tonight. The air smells like summer. I can hear music playing. I look around at the life I built, the life I chose, and I realize something. I do not miss my old family. I do not hate them either. I just do not need them anymore. I spent so long thinking that family was everything. That blood mattered more than anything else. But I was wrong. Family is not about who you are born to. It is about who chooses to stand by you, who respects you, who does not ask you to shrink yourself to make them comfortable. Cutting off my family was the hardest thing I ever did, but it was also the best decision I ever made. I learned that forgiveness is not mandatory, that you do not owe anyone access to your life, not even the people who raised you. I learned that sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is walk away. And I learned that you can build a new family, one that is based on respect, on boundaries, on real love. Not the kind of love that asks you to swallow your pain, but the kind that says, "I see you, I hear you, I am here." So if you are in a situation where people are pressuring you to forgive someone who hurt you deeply, I want you to know this. You do not have to. You are allowed to protect yourself. You are allowed to set boundaries. You are allowed to walk away. And if you do, you might just find that the life waiting for you on the other side is better than anything you left behind. Sometimes the family you choose is better than the family you were born into. And that is okay. I want to hear from you. Have you ever had to walk away from family? Do you think I made the right choice? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe so you do not miss future stories. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it with them. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you find the courage to choose yourself, no matter how hard it gets. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.